that was clearly those politically motivated, and those kinds of charges would have never been brought unless one side could they realize that they could weaponize that.
Here's Joy Behar talking to Fetterman about Trump's trial and political motivation and selective prosecution, et cetera. And, well, the medication's working.
It is his son, after all, and people do have sympathy for that. But a lot of people are angry with him about it. What do you say?
Oh, well, I think it's undeniable that the case against Hunter Biden was really politically motivated, but I also think it's true that the trial in New York for Trump that was political as well too. Now it's that, and in both cases, I think a pardon is appropriate, and I really think collectively, America's confidence in these kinds of institutions have been damaged by these kinds of cases. And we cannot allow these kinds of institutions to be weaponized against our political opponents. And it's very clear both trials were politically motivated and weaponized that on the other side.
They'll say that about the J6 people too, though, right? That's what they're going to say on the other side. That is weaponized also.
I'm not referring to that. I'm talking about the New York trial, and now the Democrats on our side there were some that were gleeful, calling it like now he's a convicted felon and those things, and now for our party we were talking about criminal justice, and we are now talking about second chances, and now all of a sudden now you're like, well, he's a convicted felon and all these things. And now clearly, again, both of those trials, the Hunter Biden one and the trial in New York for Trump, that was clearly those politically motivated, and those kinds of charges would have never been brought unless one side could they realize that they could weaponize that.
Okay. All right. So before I give him too much credit, yes, the bar is low. The bar is low with these people because he's not quite right there. These things are not exactly equal. The Donald Trump trials obviously were politically motivated, which is why the second Donald Trump won, the cases all disappeared. It's why they were going after him, particularly in the New York business trials. They were going after him about loans that had been repaid with no victim. Like, they were completely absurd things that we know were politically motivated by the Joe Biden Department of Justice. To argue that the Hunter case was politically motivated, what are you saying? That Joe Biden's Department of Justice was going after Hunter Biden without warrant? Like, it's just a crazy premise. The reason I'm showing you the clip, though, is it is at least good to see a Democrat, albeit who maybe isn't the most eloquent person on the face of the planet, be able to say at least the truth about the Trump half of it. He's still getting the other half wrong, and I have no doubt if they had gotten further into the J6 stuff, he would have got that wrong too. But again, it's a low bar, and I would just say with someone like Fetterman, let's just have kid gloves with him, because it would not surprise me, mark my words right now, put a pin in this one, that within 4 years he will be a wide tent Republican. It just would not surprise me.